Hello, 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 beautiful people. I hope you all had a happy Christmas. Um, yeah, with all your family. Thanks for joining. This is a lovely Friday. Is it Friday? Don't worry, P Dine is going to join us very soon. She's just taking care of Mr. Otis. So please thank you for joining me today, this Friday, and you're joining us actually. So, how are you guys? How was your Christmas? Please do let me know where you're watching from. We have a lot to talk about today because there's a lot to talk about. So, while we're waiting for Pat, Miss Pedina, you all please let me know where you are, how your Christmas went, and we'll take it from there. So, hello, hello, hello. How are you guys? It's been so busy. I loved there. Hi, Pauli. Hello, Paul. Yeah, I am happy. Yeah, I'm grateful. I am grateful. I'm very grateful. You know that I had my Christmas. Hello, Majid the Black Owl. Hello, everybody from wherever you're watching. Thank you very much. I got my stitches taken out today. I don't know if you can see them. It's a little bit gross, but still there. Look at my nails. Look at my nails. Don't they look weird? Uh, I mean, some of the girls did it, and I don't know. I'm not used to them like that, but it looks okay. They look pretty, you know. Yeah, my finger. It's just the. But look at that. It's with the. It's like a little starchy thing there. So how are you guys? Let me know how you're doing. There's so much to talk about, about the King's speech, mm, about Princess Catherine the walkabout, about Harry and Meghan Markle's year, about that card that we've seen all do the rounds about the possible Archie and Lili. We will show you. We will show it to you when P9 is here because we have so many thoughts on that. Um, it's been very, very busy year. Um, I don't know how your year has been, but I do hope that everything has been peaceful and lovely and that you enjoyed your Christmas with your loved ones. I spent it alone because Henrik got COVID, so he couldn't travel anywhere. So yeah. So I couldn't be with my son. I think this is the first Christmas we spend it apart. So it's mm. I can see people. Please do let me know what you think of the King's speech. Um, s- uh, I have some thoughts on the matter. Um, mm, yeah, I like the ending of the speech though. I love the beautiful song, and I loved him showing what you call it the royal family, the working members of the royal family. That part I did like. I'm not gonna lie. That song was very beautiful and it was very emotional. I did kind of miss the Queen. Um, it was Lido. You said that the King's speech was a letdown. Seems to support the rest of the world except his own country. Uh, the speech was too gray. Grandma Honey, she says, I don't mean to sound unappreciative, but I have 9 children, and I told them I didn't want gifts for Christmas. All I wanted was my washing machine fixed. It's still broken. I'm sorry to hear that. Did you really make it clear you needed the washing machine fixed? Kids, I hope you're listening to that. You really let your grandma down. I can't believe. You know, I just find that that this is Louis said it's called a Christmas speech, meaning Christian. He did not acknowledge Christianity. Yeah. Hmm. Yeah. Well, I want to thank you all for joining. Peter and I had to take Otis out, so he is doing his business to come soon. So don't worry about it. It says some people say his speech did not celebrate the birth of our Lord Jesus Christ. like the despair. Yeah, yeah. I thought that he did mention spare, the word despair there. Um, but it's so weird because I'm so used to the Queen's speeches that the Queen always had hope. We're going through something strong. This has happened. But there's always a way out. Blah blah blah. I found the part that I didn't like, that really made me angry. There's one part that it wasn't. I liked the end of the speech with the song. Um, it was the part where he said that there have been riots in the United Kingdom, and that that the community had joined in to fix it up, but he didn't address why those riots happened. He didn't address the death of the three little girls that were brutally killed by this man. He didn't address the riots. I think he was being very specific to the riots of the angry people who were protesting the two-tier justice of how come when certain group of people can break the city, nothing happens to them, but when other group of people do, rightly so, justify out of the anger that three little angels were killed, people were very upset with the way the police handled everything and protested, exercised their right to protest. Yes, it got out of hand, but so has the other group of people, and it has been worse. I did not like that at all. You know, I did not like at all. I'm not gonna tell you that's true. It's like, what do you mean, congratulations, that the community riled up to fix the protest of these horrible people because we know what he's referring. And I was shocked. I was shocked that there was no mention at all of those little girls that were murdered, really, you know. And he didn't address the people's rightful anger. So that I was like, what? No, no, he didn't just say that. Um, and he just talked about the communities. So he talked a lot about war, but it's like it was a little bit of a depressing speech. Mm, I don't know. I wasn't inspired by the speech, like the Christmas, we shall meet again, we shall be together again. We're going through hard stuff again. That's like the queen will survive things again. We always have hope to the future. Blah, 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 blah. Ah, so I found nothing of that. And then again, I did like the end of the speech with the beautiful music and showing the royal family working um, to show what they're doing. Like what they're doing. They're serving the public, and I did like the part of the veterans, but I did not like the part of the wars. I did not like the part that it wasn't a positive outlook of, yes, there are wars, in the world, but we should unite together as leaders to put an end to that, to avoid anymore. There was nothing of that. There was, for me, anyways. And again, the only part that really angered me was that about the riots, because he didn't address the fact that people may have been justified to because they were so angry of how it was handled, you know. So that's the part for me. We'll ask Dinah when she joins me. She'll be joining us very soon, in about 2 3 minutes. I'm just gonna send her a message. I want to make sure I sent her the right link. Okay. Um. Um. Here we go. So I don't know. I mean, what do you guys think? What do you guys think? It's like, do you guys remember that speech of the Queen? We shall meet again. We've been through worse in our lives. I remember when I grew up in the war and we never saw, but there, her speeches were always, At least for me, there was like you look forward to it because it's like she was steering the nation. I don't know if that makes sense. I mean, you know what I mean? I don't know if that makes sense. Let me see the Queen's speech. I think her last speech was 2021. Let me see. No, it was 2020. Was there a Queen's speech 2021? Yes, Christmas 21, 2021. Yeah, let me see. I know it's just so beautiful. Let me see. Let me see what the Queen said. You guys want? Let's listen to her. I just love listening to her. Let's share a little bit of the Queen's speech, her last speech. It's just that it was so different for me. It always, here we go.
He is someone who doesn't take easily to compliments, but he has quite simply been my strength and stay all these years. And I and his whole family, and this and many other countries, owe him a debt greater than he would ever claim or we shall ever know. Although it's a time of great happiness and good cheer for many, Christmas can be hard for those who have lost loved ones. This year especially, I understand why. But for me, in the months since the death of my beloved Philip, I have drawn great comfort from the warmth and affection of the many tributes to his life and work, from around the country, the Commonwealth, and the world. His sense of service, intellectual curiosity, and
Hello, Pat. I'm just listening to the Queen's last speech
Oh, okay. Can you hear
because,
me?
yes, of course,
Okay.
you look beautiful. And I
Thank
should
you.
have worn my hair down.
So do you, dear. Is it playing? Oh, okay.
This is the Queen's speech because we're talking about the King's speech and we're talking about how I always found that the Queen's people look forward to her speeches because they were always so, I know we're going through bad stuff, but we're going to get through it, you know?
Right, yeah.
And it was always so. Let's listen to this is her last speech from what I believe because she died in 2022, right?
Yeah, mhm.
Okay, so this is her last speech. Look at her.
Okay.
capacity to squeeze fun out of any situation were all irrepressible. That mischievous, inquiring twinkle was as bright at the end as when I first set eyes on him. But life, of course, consists of final partings as well as first meetings. And as much as I and my family miss him, I know he would want us to enjoy Christmas. We felt his presence as we, like millions around the world, readied ourselves for Christmas. While COVID again means we can't celebrate quite as we may have wished, we can still enjoy the many happy traditions, be it the singing of carols, as long as the tune is well known, decorating the tree, giving and receiving presents, or watching a favorite film where we already know the ending. It's no surprise that families so often treasure their Christmas routines. We see our own children and their families embrace the roles, traditions, and values that mean so much to us, as these are passed from one generation to the next, sometimes being updated for changing times. I see it in my own family, and it is a source of great happiness. Prince Philip was always mindful of this sense of passing the baton. That's why he created the Duke of Edinburgh's Award, which offers young people throughout the Commonwealth and beyond the chance of exploration and adventure. It remains an astonishing success, grounded in his faith in the future. He was also an early champion of taking seriously our stewardship of the environment. And I am proud beyond words that his pioneering work has been taken on and magnified by our eldest son Charles and his eldest son William, admirably supported by Camilla and Catherine, most recently at the COP Climate Change Summit in Glasgow. Next summer, we look forward to the Commonwealth Games. The baton is currently travelling the length and breadth of the Commonwealth, heading towards Birmingham, a beacon of hope on its journey. It will be a chance to celebrate the achievements of athletes and the coming together of like-minded nations. And February, just 6 weeks from now, will see the start of my Platinum Jubilee year, which I hope will be an opportunity for people everywhere to enjoy a sense of togetherness, a chance to give thanks for the enormous changes of the last 70 years, social, scientific, and cultural, and also to look ahead with confidence. I'm sure someone somewhere today will remark that Christmas is a time for children. It's an engaging truth, but only half the story. Perhaps it's truer to say that Christmas can speak to the child within us all. Adults, when weighed down with worries, sometimes fail to see the joy in simple things, where children do not. And for me and my family, even with one familiar laugh missing this year, there will be joy in Christmas, as we have the chance to reminisce and see anew the wonder of the festive season through the eyes of our young children, of whom we were delighted to welcome 4 more this year. They teach us all a lesson, just as the Christmas story does, that in the birth of a child there is a new dawn with endless potential. It is this simplicity of the Christmas story that makes it so universally appealing. Simple happenings that form the starting point of the life of Jesus, a man whose teachings have been handed down from generation to generation and have been the bedrock of my faith.
There you go.
His birth marked a new beginning. As the carol says, the hopes and fears of all the years are met in thee tonight. I wish you all a very happy Christmas.
I don't know. What do you make of that? Isn't that beautiful?
Yeah, it's really quite a reminder, isn't it, of all the things that, for one, were going on at that time, but just about I think family, the getting together, and I think what was really striking for me is when she held on to the traditions and things that we know at the time were not being had by the other royals in California, and so I always look at it through that lens. I hate to say that word, but lens, because you have to think that there was a lot going on around that time, and the chaos within the family, things that were happening, but it all came down to family and tradition and being together, things that Harry gave up. And I think it was at that time for him a reminder of what he has given up. And I think every year it will become a part of that story that he has given up, that he'll have to be reminded about, because I don't think he's happy isolated with what is meaningful in his life. Think about it. He grew up his whole life. That was what he did, his tradition of Harry and his family. And suddenly these are the things that are lost by him with Meghan and their children. So it's quite I think a shakeup for him, but a reminder to the importance of, at the end of the day, it's about you and your family and your children being with their cousins, and everyone is commemorating an important time together. And some people just in their family won't be doing that anymore, and that has to be sad and sad. I mean, you can't overlook what was been going on. It was such a big deal with what
Yeah.
Harry did when they left in 2020.
Yeah,
You
and this
know.
is her last one. This is in 2021. She has just lost her husband. But what we
Right.
asked about,
The
this is
loss
what
of
she was
his
saying. Yeah,
grandfather.
yeah. Can you
hmm
imagine? She lost a husband of 70. I mean, I
Yeah.
mean, how can you imagine somebody who's by your side through everything? And she suffered a greater loss. She had
Yeah.
diagnosed with cancer from what we know now. There
Right.
was COVID, and yet her message was about, yes, I suffered a loss, but we're okay. It was
Yeah. Yeah. They're moving forward.
oh my God, I only got $1 million in allowance. It's like, she's the
Right.
same lady. Look how calmly she's saying, I lost my companion of 7 years.
Yeah.
But she's not, oh, you should feel sorry for me. No, and instead she's like, he believed in moving on, passing on the
Yes.
baton. And
All those important things
she
that are
talked
been given
about
up by Harry.
faith, which I loved. It's like
Mhm.
how her faith, because we know that she was a woman of great faith. I am a Catholic, I believe in God, Jesus. I don't know what
Mhm.
people believe in, but I do
Yeah, I'm a
believe in
Christian.
that.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
I love that how she said that, she was a woman of faith because I think that carried her through everything that she was going through. And
Absolutely.
but when you get out from that message, you do feel her sense of loss, but also of hope, how we should all find the child within us, that yes, Christmas is for children, but it's actually about the children, the child within us, and that even though we have losses, we move on, and that even
Mhm.
though we're going through COVID, but there are things that we can do to celebrate, that. So that
Mhm.
I always found her speeches so uplifting. It's like,
Mm.
yeah, we're going through some stuff, buddy, but there's a light at the end of the tunnel, and just have faith
Mhm.
in God, and it'll get
She
you
had a lot
there.
of optimism
Yeah.
behind her.
What did you think about King Charles' speech?
I thought it was a good speech. I'm glad that it was in a different setting. I'm sorry. I thought it was a good speech.
No,
I
no, no,
thought.
no. Why are you apologizing?
Oh, I'm sorry. What did you say? You didn't think it was good?
I like the end of it. I didn't like there was a part that made me angry because you know that 3 little girls were murdered in the UK, brutally murdered.
Well, yeah, he talked about that. He talked
No, he
about.
talked about the riots. He said that he was glad that,
Yeah, but in the
he kind of
roundabout way, he didn't say it specifically, but he did mention it around all the things that have been happening in the UK with tragedies that have, and then they showed the picture of when Catherine and William were meeting with the nurses, the first aid responders for that tragedy. So, I mean, yeah.
yeah, he could have addressed,
You
because
think it more
that was
directly he should have addressed
well,
it?
it's just that he addressed the riots and that he was glad that, people that there was no lawlessness in this country riots because
Mm-hmm.
he wasn't talking about the riots that the Muslim community made when the when they showed footage of the policeman punching somebody, a Muslim guy, but they didn't show the whole footage when they punched this white police woman to the ground that they broke her nose, and this is why they were responding to it. So they
Mm-hmm.
all rioted like the day before or something like that, and they went out with machetes, breaking down the city and everything, and the police reacting immediately. But
Mm-hmm.
then they didn't show the other part. And when people were angry because of how they reacted towards the police was really slow reaction to that. So people were angry because, people are saying, why
Mm-hmm.
are we allowing these people here?
Mm-hmm.
You
Mm-hmm.
know, and I understand there's a sense of community, but you have this man from, I don't know, from Saudi Arabia who's actually a fugitive, but he is one of those. He's not a preacher because he's a Muslim, Pat,
Mhm,
but he
mhm,
wants to buy an island in Scotland so he can install Sharia law, the most strict form of thing. Well, he's a
mm,
wanted man elsewhere. So I
mm,
think a lot of people were pointing that out that, you should have mentioned the 3 little girls. He should have addressed that the nation's anger, that they have a
mm,
right to be angry, but at the same time, there should be other ways to express that anger. And
mm,
that I would have done something like that because people are still reeling. He is so focused on the support of what there's been perceived as minorities, but right now in the United Kingdom, the Muslim community is larger than the white community.
Mm.
Minority now is the white people. So he is
Mhm.
so he didn't mention anything about Jesus, or anything because he wants to be the champion on all faiths, it's like he
Mm.
talked about war, but I didn't sense like, we know that there's wars going on and our heart goes out to the parents and to everybody. And but maybe it's time for us to pull together to put an end to this and so there was nothing like that. It wasn't uplifting for
Mm.
the only thing that was nice was the song at the end. I really loved it. I
Oh,
really loved
yeah,
it.
that was nice, yeah.
I'll actually cry when I with that song and, with them watching and that
Mhm.
that was beautiful. But
That
I
girl
think
had a beautiful voice, little black girl that sung the solo.
did
Nah.
you find it uplifting?
Yeah, that what he spoke about? Yeah, I
But
did.
what part did you find uplifting?
I think when he talked about uh just the rising up and coming together in community and supporting each other and being tolerant of other people's um cultures. I think I'm just all about that part because I think when you don't know more about other people, you're a lot of times people are more afraid, or there's a lot of negativity that can come out of that when you have not a clue or inkling about certain
Mhm,
communities and people. And I think learning more about it, I think brings more understanding of
mhm,
togetherness, and I think that part resonated. But I'm not in the UK, so I probably don't have a realistic view on what it's really like being there as a citizen. I just know from the stories that come out in the news when I catch them, and I'm not catching everything. So I don't know. I just thought the king speaking about that was a good thing, because that's what I teach it with my work with my charity. But yeah, I wouldn't be the best person, I don't think, to ask because I don't live there. I think people that
mhm.
live there and go through the things that are happening on the ground can
Yeah,
be really in touch with,
yeah.
well, what the king said didn't resonate with me. They can, give a more realistic point of view on that. But from
No, no,
afar, I could
well, this
appreciate
is the
it.
great thing. This is guys, you know what? This is I love and I wanna thank Pidina because she's such a loyal friend and you're such a friend. I mean, there's nobody I'd love to almost end the year with but you, Pat,
Oh, you're so
I love
sweet.
that.
You've
Yeah,
always been
yeah,
great. We've got along very well
yes,
since all
yes.
this stuff
Yes,
started,
yes,
and
it's so great. But, we're gonna talk about don't worry, guys, we're getting there. We're gonna get to that card. I mean, P. Dinah has got some scoops coming for the year, and I can't wait for them to be I have to
yeah,
tell you people, we YouTubers, we get scoops, but people are
yes.
asking, "Where did you get that picture?" We can't tell you guys. We can't tell you, sometimes we see it and somebody sends
Yeah.
a lot of you send me emails or messages to my Facebook with information and you tell me please don't say, or well, and we have to respect that.
Hmm.
Because otherwise then nobody would talk to us about it because everybody's talking about this image path.
Right. Yeah. And that's what my video's on today. And, and people say some of the craziest things, but does anybody really, really know, Paula? Really?
What? What
Does
do
anybody
people know?
really know? Because some people are saying these are not their kids. Some people are saying these are their kids. Some people are saying they're photoshopped. They've been slightly altered. There's a lot there's a lot of opinions, but I think people are missing the bigger picture behind this picture and what everyone's saying about this picture.
What do you think that well, let me share I'm gonna share you guys here. We're gonna watch here. Because the thing is though, I'm gonna do a video about it but tomorrow. I don't but
Hmm.
this is P Dinah's YouTube. So you all please go subscribe to it. Like and watch. I mean, you get more views than I do because you're you. So this is a kid drama. Are
Yeah.
these really Prince Harry and Meghan's kid unveiling the truth?
Hmm.
Okay. So yes, can you tell us a little bit about this? Don't give us a
Yes.
whole video, but tell us a little bit. We're
I'll
gonna.
tell you a little bit. If you want to see it all, watch the video. But basically, there's a lot to understand about Harry and Meghan just from the comments, just by the fact that we're even talking about it. There's a bigger picture. There's a lot with Harry and Meghan that is very not transparent, that speaks to this couple's relationship. It speaks to the things that Megan did in the beginning of her relationship with Harry. There's so much to glean from the fact that this is a couple in chaos. This is a couple that has no real clear defining message that speaks to people. Because I'm sure when you look at photos of people like Catherine and William, people are not saying, and there's not so much controversy around the other royals and their children. But why is there so much controversy around these children? What have Harry and Meghan done to cause all this controversy? Why is there controversy around these children?
Because of all this secrecy, inconsistencies. I mean,
Yeah, there's a lot that they've done, and you have to bring this back to the parents. You know, why are we talking about these kids like this? Who has brought this on themselves? Harry and Meghan.
and to the kids as well, you know. And the thing is though, I'm always shocked. I'm always shocked, guys, when I see this, when I see this, because for me here is, I I mean, that's supposed to be Lilibet and that's supposed to be Archie. Lilibet
Mm-hmm.
is always dressed for summer and Archie's
Mm-hmm.
always dressed for winter.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know what
Mm-hmm.
I mean? It's like, and I'm gonna show her this picture because this kid has changed so much. This
Mm-hmm.
now this is a completely different child,
Okay.
because these are supposed to be
The
both of these
same
kids
child.
are supposed to be the same child.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
like Archie had the eyes like this. That little girl that's supposed to be Lily looks like him, but with a wig.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
This is
Yeah.
both of these kids are supposed to be Archie at the same time.
Yeah.
And I've
That's
mentioned this
interesting.
before. Look at the space between the eyebrows of this kid and the here. Look how little space there is. Look how much space there is between the eyebrows and here. It's almost
Mm.
3 times the space for this child. Look at the ear. This is the right ear, right? No, yeah, this is the right ear. Look at his ears completely different. Look at the nose is different. This is more tipped up. Look at the big space between the tip of the nose and the lip. Look
Mm.
how little shorter. I mean, this is a
Mm-hmm.
completely different child.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's interesting. Um,
And I mean, I haven't made these up. The child here without the sweater, because Archie's always with a sweater. He's never wearing shorts. Have you noticed that?
I never noticed that, but I'm gonna start paying attention to it now.
He's always with, well, look, the picture that they posted, he is wearing a sweater, and the same sweater apparently from Netflix. I'll show you the picture. The same shoes, the same pants. And Lily's always in a summer dress. Even that birthday picture in England, Lily's wearing like a blue dress, and Archie's again wearing a sweater.
Mm-hmm.
Like this
Yeah.
picture here on this side, on the right hand side, this is the picture of them bathing Archie. This is the
Mm-hmm.
picture from the Christmas card.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
That's not
that's
the same
interesting. It's just looking at the two, you can see some differences. Yeah.
child.
And
Yeah,
just in general, it doesn't look like the
different.
same. Even when you like glance at it, you just don't see the same child.
Well, it's not, Pat. I mean, it is absolutely in the lies, and I mean, this is the picture
Mhm.
from Netflix. I'll show it to you. This
Okay.
is the picture from Netflix, guys. Here, this is the picture from Netflix, and this is the picture that they took now. He even has the
Wow.
same shoes, the same
Yeah.
sweater. I mean,
Yeah. And that doesn't, I mean, what kind of, I don't know. It just seems,
I wouldn't mind if they said, "You know what? We're not gonna show you the kids. We're not gonna show the kids, because we have problems, blah, 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 whatever, safety or whatever the hell they want to talk about, right?"
uh-huh.
But because some incredible theories I've said that you generated this image.
That who you did or I did?
that you did.
That
And I'm like,
I did.
yes, and people
What
are
in the
like,
world?
"You're
Okay, you know
not supposed to
what?
say." Don't reveal your source, you know?
I got it. Okay, look, wasn't. It had to have been on the internet. I mean, I
Yes.
didn't just create the photo. That's no, that is some ridiculousness. Okay.
And look at the 2 dogs. She has those 2 beagles. I think the other one, one of them is the one that had the broken legs because we've seen the 2 beagles that she has on that Christmas card or what holiday card. Sorry, I don't mean to upset anybody. The
Mm-hmm.
holiday card, that she had, in there. I'll show it to you. It's right here. It's the 2
Mm-hmm.
beagles. Pretty much, I'm gonna show you here. But it's funny, people don't ask reporters, "What is your size?" You know? This is
Yeah.
her. Like, if you look at this, these are the 2 dogs here. There's the same 2 dogs that
Yeah.
are on the other picture.
Yeah. We can. Yeah. Those are the two beagles.
The 2 beagles that she has there,
Yeah.
so but this is something incredibly interesting for me, that picture that she put out, because apparently this was leaked to certain, Sussex squatties to thank them
Mm-hmm.
for their service, whatever that service may be, from Prince Archie and Princess Lilibet.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, the pretensions, that's not Meghan Markle's handwriting because that is too nice. Meghan Markle's handwriting is like
I
that.
think that's a type. That's typed.
Yes,
That's not handwritten. Yeah.
yeah, I believe that they have heavily photoshopped both children, because her face is like Archie's, but with a wig. If you look at her,
Mm-hmm.
she's wearing a summer dress.
Yeah.
He's like, I mean, this is a heavy sweater, Pat.
Yeah. That's a heavy sweater. That doesn't make sense. Yeah.
You know what I mean? His eyes are this kid is completely different.
Yeah. And she just seems older than 3.
She seems like she's about 5 or 6, and he seems to be about 7 or 8.
Yeah, like at least, yeah, at least 7.
Yeah,
At
but she
least
seems
7.
5. She seems easily 5. That's not
Yeah,
a 3-year-old girl. I've shown you pictures of Princess, Charlotte at 3. She's about half the height of this little one.
yeah. See, and that's and I mean, and that right there just tells you, don't they create more harm or mystique around the children by not being transparent than they do by trying to hide them? Because it really puts out, a mystery for people that they may want to solve. And it could put, the position of the children in a way that makes people want to find out, well, who are they? And someone's could probably be looking and trying to find the truth of who these kids are. And that cannot be a good thing either, I don't think.
Well, we've tried to get that bloody birth certificate of Lily, which apparently you have to go specifically to Santa Barbara and request it there because it's not found on the system. Parliament has told us they don't have any records. I sent the email to as a Freedom of Information Act request, asking them just to verify it in writing simply that Archie was born at Portland Hospital and the names of the doctors. And they said that they didn't have that information. So Parliament
Hmm.
went ahead and introduced 2 children in the line of succession without any documentation whatsoever.
Yeah, which I think is absurd. I mean, you can't not verify these things, especially when there's so much speculation and rumors. There
Well,
has to
especially when
be.
what Harry said made no sense, Pat.
When he talked about the birth of Archie.
Well, yeah, how
Mm-hmm.
Megan got 2 epidurals. She was in a bathtub with an epidural, and then within an hour, she was discharged because we have to consider that they were back at Frogmore within 2 hours of the birth, which means that she was basically cleaned up.
Yeah.
The kid was cleaned up within an hour. She was put in a
Hmm.
van and then drove like hell to Frogmore, and then she sat up to do that picture.
Yeah. So that doesn't even make sense. And it's like everything about what they do seems so not clear.
I
It's almost like when Megan came into the picture and everything that she said during the interview from the engagement, the lies then. Like the lies started then. And even during the Oprah Winfrey interview about not Googling Harry. Like, come on, really? That's a lie. That's a lie. Okay. Like a lot of things that she does. And it's just carried on over into these children now.
I mean, but you know what the worst part of it all is? That they are terrible lies. They
Yeah.
are absolutely terrible lies, you know? This is supposed to be, let me see, because there's this picture here that I want to show you that she allowed to be taken when she was pregnant, because she never shows the face, or if she does, is like halfway or something like that. But I mean, the face of Archie has changed from the day he was born, depending on which photo you look at, till now. Now that picture that, was apparently sent to certain Sussex Quaddies to thank them for their service. You
Mm-hmm.
know, with the we see that the children, that the Wales is, they are consistently the same. I mean, you know what
Mm-hmm.
I mean?
Yeah.
It's not like there's much of a change or anything like that. It's
Yeah, they're very in tune with just the tradition of how things operate, and they get along to go along. But Harry, Meghan don't. Meghan, I think, is the one that's disrupting all of this and causing all the chaos. And you just look at the state of their brand and everything that's failing. It falls in line with the state of how things are within the marriage, the brand, the children. It's all chaotic disorder, no real clarity around anything that they do, which would give you the perspective of somebody who just is a failure, because there is no certainty or clarity around anything that they do. It all is a big fat failure. And like I've always said on my channel, the fun becomes watching them fail. Like, okay, what are you going to do now? What do you want to do next? Because it gives pause for people to think, okay, how are they going to screw this next thing up that they're going to do? Now, the one thing that I did look at that they're doing besides Megan's cooking show, and we all remember, is that movie, Meet Me at the Lake. And they're saying that, well, I think it was in March of this year that they are producing this, and that Harry and Meghan are not going to be in the movie. But I think that is also another opportunity for them. I don't know if Netflix will kick them out of doing that producing job, but it's supposed to be done through Archwell. So, you almost have to wait and see. Well, after that, will they then lose their Netflix contract?
I don't think that they're gonna do that Meghan Markle has only filmed, for what I understood. Let me show you this picture, because
Hmm.
when you see this picture here, this is supposed to be Archie. Here, look at his face; is completely different. His little eyes, because he has those eyes like the ones of the little girl.
Mhm.
It's
Mhm.
completely different than that little kid, because that other kid that they're showing has like big, like
Yes, right.
different type of eyes. You
Mhm.
know? And I mean, I just look how different it is. I mean, you can't, because those eyes are very prominent, the type of eyes that he has.
Yeah, yeah.
These from the times that they have shown you those eyes from Archie. It's always been very like, like Asian almost looking,
Mhm. Yep, very Asian looking.
isn't it? And that's weird, because they don't
Yeah.
do that in either side of the family.
They don't. They don't. That's what, and this is what we said when she first had released the photo of Lilibet when she was one, the one of her in that dress.
Mhm.
Now that does look like the same girl from this Christmas or this holiday card to that first photo. That does look like the same girl.
Yeah, but it looks enlarged, as though they aged her, like, because, or that they put different, because she can't be that tall. She's only 3.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know what I mean? So there is like a software that
Mhm.
you know what I
Can
mean?
age you. Yeah.
3-year-old is a baby, really baby face.
Yeah. Right. And
You know what
Archie's
I
face
mean?
looks very mature to me for some
Yeah.
reason. Doesn't it
He
look
looks, yeah.
mature?
Yeah, it looks aged. That's
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
whole thing, like, because I mean, Princess Charlotte, I think I'm gonna show you Princess Charlotte in a blue dress. People were even talking about it when she was 3 years old, Princess Charlotte. Like,
Mhm.
I'm going to show you this picture here of her, and she's 3 years old, 3.5 years old,
Mhm.
in her blue little dress. Look how tiny she is.
Yeah.
She was
Yeah.
almost 3 years old when she was 2 days of being 3 years old when Megan got married,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know, and they look at the baby because they have, like, baby fat.
Yeah.
They keep
Baby
it
face. Yeah.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and this is the difference, and this girl, do you see this picture here?
Yep. Yep.
See, this is her at 3, and this is her at 6 or 7. Look
Yeah.
at the difference, look at her, the baby thing is gone, which is pretty
Mm-hmm.
much like that other girl.
Right. Yeah.
You know, it's like, this is her. Look, this is Charlotte. This is People Magazine. I hate these commercials. I have to make them go. Sorry about that. And I don't know if you're oh, you're not watching this one.
We don't see
Let
the
me show
commercial.
you. I'm gonna okay, here we go. I found it. I got it, guys. I'm gonna show you this. And you're gonna see the difference between a 3-year-old and a 6-year-old. There you go.
Yeah. Now that girl looks like in that photo how Charlotte looks on the right here.
Exactly.
Yeah.
She looks older. She looks, thin out and stuff like that. And you know what I mean?
Yeah. 3-year-old still has a very baby looking type face. Go back to the holiday card so
Oh,
we
yeah,
can just look at
I
that.
will, of course. And you'll see that this girl looked like she's 6 years old. 6, like she looks like she's 6-year-old. And let me show you here. And it looks like it's the one-year-old picture, but they kind of aged her. But there's something
Yeah.
also weird about it because
Something's
she's
just not
grown.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that is not Archie. No, I'm gonna flat out say that's not the kid they call Archie.
That's
That
not Archie.
how they said that Archie is like the Markles? It takes after the Markle Megan side. That kid
Hmm.
doesn't even look like Megan.
Yeah, and they don't even look alike, do they? The kids don't
Exactly.
the kids look nothing alike.
Exactly. But Archie was born. Look, he was. This is very important with a big space between his eyebrows, and his eyelid. He has a huge eyelid. This kid has a completely different face.
Yeah,
He doesn't look like Harry. He
I
doesn't
know.
look like nobody at all.
I mean, I can see Megan's like the way the eye is, like the one eye goes in a little bit. That kind of looks like Megan's eye a little,
The little
but
girl.
no, the boy
No, but he had it really heavy when he was. Let me
when he
find.
was younger, yeah. So he
It
might
was
have corrective
really,
glasses, yeah.
really heavy. No, they have it. No, they haven't had any glasses.
But you can see it's still there. If you kind of look, the eye still kind of goes a
Both
little.
kids are like that, but both kids had the kinds of eyes that this little girl has. That
Hmm.
shape of eye does not change, Pat.
Well,
You
I'm
know what I
looking at
mean?
the pupil. I'm talking about the pupil, like the brown part of the eye or the whatever color the eye is. It's not like they're both straight. Like one is going in a little bit.
Yeah.
It
Yeah, let
looks
me
like.
show you a picture because there's a picture of this kid here. No, mm, let me see with Megan. You remember that picture when he turned 1 year old or something like that? This is the kid that they're trying to pass as now. Look, you're gonna see his face. Okay, you're gonna see his face because I'm gonna show it to you here.
Mm-hmm.
This is, and you'll see the shape of the eye. That shape doesn't grow like that. It doesn't change.
Hmm.
Here's the kid. I'm gonna show it to you now because they're not consistent with the children they show. Here, see his eyes?
Oh yeah,
And
yeah,
in any case, the eye that goes towards inside is this eye, not the other eye.
yeah. That
The
is
picture with
true.
the kid is the other eye that's it's going in, and the shape of this eye is completely different than the shape of the eye of that other kid.
That's true. Those
Not
eyes look different than the one on the card. You're
It's
right.
like Moon and Mars, Pat. Moon and Mars.
Yeah. See, that's the thing. That. Well, why? What is she doing? Or what?
Dying. I mean, once the thing is though, once she's lied so publicly, she's just lucky that the royal family cannot call her out because they should have called her out and Harry at the beginning. I was watching this podcast from these people that they were calling them out. It's like, um, once the royal family went along with it, there's no going back. This is why even Parliament it doesn't
Yeah.
even want to tell you that they have the documentation that they have on every other royal child, but not on these two. And they direct you to the palace, and the palace, but then they warn you that because the palace is not really part of the government, they're not subject to the Freedom of Information Act request. So they don't
Mm.
have to answer. So once it's gone for Megan, it's just, I mean, she's so D-list that she just keeps, she's going to stick to that line no matter what.
Hmm.
We all know she
Interesting.
didn't go to the Portland. You saw Bookworms, what you call the video, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because it is alleged that the kid was born mid-April, not on May 6th.
In April.
Because it,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
because it would make sense. Harry's slip of the tongue when he said children change so much in 2 weeks.
Right.
You're
That's
not
right.
gonna get confused. We know all that, guys, because we're all parents. I mean, we're counting the hours when our kids are born. Oh, he's only 17 hours old,
Mm-hmm.
how we
Mm-hmm.
do that all the time. He wouldn't have gotten confused by 2 weeks. He's like, oh my God, he's been here for 2 days, and it's because it's so fresh.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. That doesn't even make sense that he would even say that. And just all the confusion around when the birth was announced and when they say it actually happened, even how it was revealed to the public was controversy. Like everything around them is controversy, you know? It's
But
just
and I mean,
so
they kept all these, now that you saw the walkabout, you saw how loved Princess Catherine was. But to me,
uh-huh.
what was incredible was all the cousins were there, the Tyndalls, even that stepson of Beatrice. But you see all the kids playing, all the families there. And then I get the
Mhm.
article that Harry and Meghan spent a quiet Christmas, just the two of them with the children, because they were not invited to any other parties. Nobody brought their kids to them, and the ex-convict Doria is there if she's there. Um,
Mhm.
that's it. Those kids are literally isolated.
From everybody
And I
in
have
their
to ask you
family.
this, Pat. I have to ask you this.
Mm.
Why doesn't she bring up the black side of her family, who's very numerous, and they all have all these cousins that she could
Yeah.
integrate and expose them to? You know that. I'm asking you because we know one of the things Mr. Markle may have spoiled and created, helped create this monster. But one thing he did do well was create a sense of family. Because even the Johnson cousins of her said that they all used to love coming to California because of to the Markle, to Mr.
Mhm.
because they all spend Thanksgivings and stuff, even after they got divorced. Like he would take her to. Didn't she say she took care of her family, her grandmother, her black grandmother,
Mhm. Yeah,
and then
and the extended family of those people are in Ohio, in Cleveland.
next to you
So
should pay them a visit back.
I would love to do that. I
You
would
know,
love to do that. I think people need to talk about the fact that she's got a whole family, extended relatives in Ohio that
you should
she
go talk
completely
to them.
ignores. Yeah.
You should go talk to them because why? And this is the thing that I was asked about the sugars. I did my video about it yesterday. Why isn't it okay? Everybody hates the Markles. Fine, fine, hate the Markles. But what about the black side of the family? Why aren't the black people asking her, hey, where
Mhm.
is your extended family? You have lots of cousins that you grew up with.
Yeah, there's that. Well, that Doria grew up with, like it's her family because they lived in Ohio, then they left and moved to California. So there's a lot of connection to Ohio for Megan and her ancestry, her family relatives. Why
You
isn't
mean
she
Nigeria?
visiting?
I
Huh?
would, I would love to ask her family members if they're from Nigeria, if they've ever heard anything of Nigeria.
Right. That would be an interesting find to see if any of them are from Nigeria. Right. Yeah, it's like she wants to go and talk about being from Nigeria, but you have black family extended closer to your lineage than the Nigerian supposed side, and you don't even connect with them. So
Yeah,
why, why
why
not?
but why aren't you, you know what? You should do a video about that. Because why aren't what I'm gonna do an investigation thing. We should do an investigation on her relatives because they actually did speak to people. They did a video about it. Did you watch it?
Okay, well, who did a video? What video you
Our black side
referencing?
of the family. They did a
Yeah,
video.
yeah, yeah. Inside Edition did it. I remember that. But that's the
What's
only
it
video
called?
that I've
Inside
seen.
Edition. Let me see if we can pull it out so people can see it
Oh
because
yeah.
Inside Edition, right? It was Inside Edition, right, Pat?
It was Inside Edition.
Inside Edition. It was Meghan Markle family speak up, right?
Yeah.
Family,
hmm
Meghan Markle family because they talked about and they have seen her.
Yeah, I'm sure at some point Doria went back to visit and has seen her family. Otherwise, how would they know that they're related? I mean, and it's not like 6, 7 generations back. It's like I think her Doria's father's relatives. I think
Yep,
those are the relatives that are in Ohio.
yep, yep, yep. Let me see here because oh, here we go. Inside Edition. Here we go.
hmm
These are the families, I think. They say long lost relatives, but apparently they weren't that long. They weren't that lost. You know what's incredible that they're trying to create a distance that she wasn't that close to them.
Right, right.
This is Mr. Markle. Click on mute.
Half brother Thomas Jr. have made a lot of noise with sometimes embarrassing nonstop TV interviews and photo stunts.
Your family has become internationally
Let me see.
famous for
History.
There you go.
Thank you for coming. I'm glad you made it. These are Megan's cousins on her mother's side.
Oh, her mother. Yeah, her father, Megan's.
Countryside graveyard outside Atlanta, Georgia. Every tombstone in this row carries a Ragland last name, right up to Ellen and Steve Ragland. They were Megan's fourth great-grandparents. Steve Ragland is a classic only in America story. Who could have imagined when he was born into slavery in the year 1848, his descendant would one day marry into the British royal family?
Megan's fourth great-grandfather was actually property of this slave owner, plantation owner.
Exactly.
Local historian Dorothy Tuck showed me the family tree.
Her mother, Doria Ragland.
Right?
Her grandfather is Alvin Ragland. Let's skip down to her third great grandmother was Texas Ann Ragland, and she was the first one to move to Los Angeles.
Megan's cousins only learned about their connections to her right before the big day last May. They watched the wedding with pride and hope someday to welcome Megan and her prince to Georgia.
We would love to have you at our family reunion. And Harry. And the Queen.
I look at her as a fairy tale princess.
Bill Evans is another one of Megan's cousins on her mother's side. He lives in Los Angeles. He and Doria share a grandmother, Lili, who bears a striking resemblance to Megan and Doria.
My wife during the wedding, she just kept on saying, I just want to live and hug her, because she was all by herself, like she was so reserved and just so proud.
Unlike the Markles, the Raglands are content to remain in the background, filled with the private pride of their link to the American princess.
But the thing is that they were not in the background. Just nobody cares to us because they clearly gave an interview to Inside Edition. Doria's cousin he knows her because he lives in LA and clearly they spend time together. Why isn't Meghan Markle? She went all the way to Nigeria. She couldn't go to Atlanta, Georgia, and
Right.
show her roots, her Ragland side of the roots. Be proud of those roots.
Right. It just shows you that she doesn't want to really adapt to her mother's side. She'll have her mother in her life, but that's as far as she'll go to identify with her Black side. It only goes up to the mother and then it stops. She, forget the mother's, family and, her extended relatives, because that would bring her too close to an identity that I think she doesn't really want to identify as. She doesn't really want to connect with that side of her
She doesn't want to
heritage.
be classified as Black, period.
Right. Yeah. So
I mean, because I found that very interesting because you know how they have the lineage, right? And you can trace her roots. And this is one of the things that makes me angry. Why aren't her fans pointing that out? Saying, you know what? Why aren't you going to Atlanta, Georgia to see your family? They're on your mother's side. And
right.
the cousin, he said, it was so sad to see her all alone there.
Yeah. And she could have been with some other family that she already has. It just makes no sense. And I think if she were the kind of black woman that really wanted to identify or be in close proximity of her own color race, she would at least wear her hair or identify visually to that side. And she never does. It's always as a white woman. So it's clear to me that she doesn't want to identify really with that side of her family.
Yeah, but there's pictures of her everywhere I mean, Mr. Markle has some pictures that they put out there. Look at this. Are you telling me that look at this? These are her relatives. This isn't one of the Thanksgiving. Look at that.
Yeah. Right.
It's like this is I mean, because Mr. Markle, he was very inclusive with these people.
Oh, absolutely. Now, who is the gentleman there right there, that picture with the guy? That's
That's
the
cousin
picture.
Donovan Johnson. That's the same guy. Supposedly, it's supposed to be this guy here. This is. Let me see. This is Aunt Sandra Johnson.
Yeah, Sandra Johnson and her husband, I think, was the one that passed away. No, that was Pamela, the white lady that married the black guy.
But I want you to pay attention to something. Look how old Megan looks there, right?
Which
Look, you see
picture?
how old she looks, right?
Oh, right there. Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah.
Look here. Look how she's been seeing this lady because look how young she's there.
Yep, that's right. Over a period of years.
Exactly. So now you telling me that she couldn't have invited Auntie Sandra Johnson to come over to see her?
Well, is she still alive though?
Yeah, she is.
She is? Okay.
Yeah. Look at her here with all these other cousins.
Yeah. I think that would be a good.
Look here. This is her. Look.
That's the grandmother. No, that's Doria and the grandmother.
But you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
clearly, because we can see that she started going very young.
Yep.
And then at least with the aunt and with the other cousins and stuff like that.
Yep, that's exactly right. Mm-hmm. There's
You know what I mean?
clearly a
And I'm gonna show it to you
relationship.
guys. I'm gonna show it to you guys. Look at her here. She's like in her early teens.
Yep.
And here she's like 2-3 years old.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It says Meghan Markle shares her intimate pictures. This is the Daily Mail. Let's see what they have here because people say, oh no, those are fake and blah blah blah.
People say those are fake pictures?
Yeah,
No.
I kid you not, Pat. I kid you not.
That's
So I'm going to show you
ridiculous.
this. I'm gonna be, but it's you know what I find also that's very strange to me is that her own fans are angry when we point out that she's actually part black. This is her aunt Pamela Johnson, and this is her
That's
uncle, the one
that's
that
the
died,
one, Joseph. Now he passed away.
and she didn't even go to the funeral.
No, she didn't even acknowledge when he died. And I remember Pamela saying that it would have been nice had she acknowledged or said something about her uncle passing because she knew him. She knew the uncle that passed away, but didn't even acknowledge his passing. Didn't
Yeah,
receive a card or anything.
this is Doria's half sister.
Yes, Sandra. That's
Yeah,
right.
and this is like look look how young she's there.
Mm-hmm. That's
Aunt
been going
Sandra
on for many
Johnson,
years.
yeah, so she's been around these people forever. And yes, she couldn't invite one of them.
Not one. Well, she couldn't even bring Samantha's daughter. The
Yeah,
one that
yeah. So it's funny to watch her
I
cry.
mean, how naive do you have to be that you believe that Megan was told she couldn't invite anybody because they couldn't explain the fact that Samantha wasn't invited, so the daughter of Samantha couldn't be invited. Like, come on, that's a malarkey, okay?
Yeah.
Malarkey.
This is important for people to see that it wasn't that Megan only saw them once in in her life and they were gone. Look at Doria's face. She's really angry. Everybody's smiling and look at her face.
Yeah, I wonder why.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like here is what so look at it's different. It's like she's there young, she's there with a grandmother. This is another lady.
Mm-hmm.
This is the uncle that she knew. Apparently, she had a relationship with him. One of the uncles, this is her look much older, and
Yep.
it looks like they're all
With
having
her
fun.
cousin Donovan. Yeah.
Yeah, and she couldn't invite them. And people, I kid you not, they get angry when you bring up the fact that she is half black. They don't want to see her half black cousins. She was insulted when an American newspaper, because it was not a British one, an American newspaper said Prince Harry is dating this girl straight out of Compton. The first article that came out from the States was actually
Mm,
was, and the Daily Mail only repeated that article.
what they said, and that's not even something that should even be considered a bad thing,
Why?
only
Kenny
because
Galladay said he's from Compton.
yeah, and I loved how even though Serena Williams is, she's friends with Megan. One thing she said, there's nothing wrong with Compton. She goes, I love Compton. There are great people that live in Compton. And there are great Black people that are, I'm sure, all over Compton that, why would you try to make it sound like a negative thing when she did her Spotify podcast? She seemed almost appalled that she was
She
compared to living in
felt disgusted.
Compton.
You know what it sounded like? Oh my God, they say I'm from.
Mm,
How dare
Right.
you? How dare
That's
you? And Serena goes, well, I'm from Compton.
right. She clearly owned it, because she is from Compton. I mean, Compton brought her great, opportunity because had it not been her dad having them play tennis, living in Compton, they took advantage of the opportunity and she made something of herself. And that's what I don't understand, how Megan or Serena aligns herself with Megan. I hope she's beginning to see the kind of person, because Serena is the complete opposite of someone like Megan. And here's the other thing that I'm going to do a video on, but the movie that just came out, 6888, with Tyler Perry's Netflix movie that just came out with
No,
with Kerry Washington. Well, I
uh-huh.
watched it yesterday, yes.
Oh my God.
And
What's it called? What's it called?
it was, I thought it was a good movie. I thought it was well made and the acting was really good. But what is so interesting about that movie is how, as Black women, this all women Black segment of the Army that was in charge of the mail delivery service, these were women who they thought would never be able to live up to doing the job. They were looked at as less than. You're not going to make it happen. You're Black women. You're at the very bottom. We don't expect you to make this work. But
Terrible.
the lady in charge of Charity Adams was her name. She rose above the conceptions that people had of the Black women, and she proved them wrong by taking on the challenge and the hard work. And she was the best delivery mail unit that they ever had. They thought they could do it in 6 months. She got it done in 90 days. It was like 1 million pieces of mail that they were in charge of getting delivered, and how that message was so empowering. When people try to say that you're not going to be able to do X, Y, and Z, you prove them wrong, because them thinking that of you based on the color of your skin is so wrong. And you have to, within yourself, find a way to overcome that stereotype. But that's the one thing that Megan lived up to. She lived up to the negative stereotypes that people had of her by doing what she's done to the royal family. And she proved people right when the racist people, not the royals I'm saying, but the people that saw racism in that union. She lived up to what they said, because she didn't do what she should have done. She did not overcome the hardships and the commitment that she said she was going to do. She failed as a royal for
And
her
she didn't
own
have any
selfish
hardships. That's the
reasons.
worst part of it all, though, because in this movie, from what you're telling me, people actually, one of the things that I find that was a plus for her was the fact that she was mixed race. And that
Mm-hmm.
was praised and embraced by the Queen and the entire United Kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, and I've always said, Pat, that's one of the things that really bothered her, that the UK embraced her mixed heritage,
Mm-hmm.
because to her, it was a constant reminder that she's also Black.
Right. And
She does her
she didn't want to win. She wanted to fail at that. She wanted them to look at, this Blackness or whatever. And she wanted them to treat her like, with racist views and things. And that's the thing. Some people perhaps did. Some people looked at her as being an actress as a negative thing, and she proved all the stereotypes right, because she didn't live up to what she should have done, and she should have done it well. No matter how dissatisfied she was or didn't like it, you should have rose above it, and you should have stuck it out and did what you were supposed to do, because that is what you had committed to doing. That's the perception you gave when you
That's
left
the contract she
Hollywood.
signed.
That was the contract she signed, and she couldn't do it. She failed miserably.
You know what I think it is? I think she wanted her mixed heritage to be a hindrance. But when it wasn't a hindrance, when she couldn't say, "See, they're being horrible to me," but when nobody was being horrible to her, it's like,
Mm-hmm.
you know what this is? I think you and I did a video about it, and people were talking about her imaginary invented dramas. You know, it's
Mm-hmm.
like, oh my God, I talked to HR. Why are you talking to HR about
Right.
those things? No. Oh my God, nobody helped me out when everybody knows that's a lie. She was the queen made available Sophie, the Duchess of Edinburgh. She made available her three senior things. She even didn't want that black gentleman, which is
They query. Yeah.
because she was given, because even that Omid idiot was saying that, oh, the Duchess was walking the halls. You remember that book with that
Yeah.
binder? And she was given like with 24 things on protocols and experts. There were at least 7 experts on each topic. The only one
Mm-hmm.
that she called on was fashion. The other one she didn't care about.
Yeah, and she lied about not being prepped and receiving training and things on that Oprah show. It's just such bad what do they call it? Juju. It's bad
Yeah.
juju.
Yeah, because you said that thing with Tyler is completely different, because this woman has never had to overcome anything. She's
Never.
always gone through that. She herself said it on Netflix. I have never been treated like a black woman until the
Mm-hmm.
UK. So she
Mm-hmm.
never suffered any of the. I mean, guys, I'm gonna re-show my life with Pat, because I did a live with Pat too about her life. I mean, if you want to know about Black America, going black in America, and the poor hoods,
Mm-hmm.
you lived off food stamps and stuff like that. That's Pat.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you have overcome that. You have become an incredibly accomplished lady, and you are giving back to your community with your charity, helping other children through education. I mean, Pat is you are the model of somebody. I mean, you can tell a little bit people and new subscribers about your upbringing, if just for a couple of
I
minutes.
mean, we grew up in circumstances that were not ideal. But what do? You use the help and support from the government to get a leg up, and then you pull yourself up and you make something of yourself. You don't complain and talk about what people are doing to you, and you overcome and you persevere. And that's what my mom was able to do when she got support through the Ohio Department of Housing, where they were given, chances for low income people to buy their first home. And that's what happened. And I think Megan never had to go through any struggle or hardship ever. I mean,
Tap
she went to a
lessons on
private
Sunday,
school.
eating at Frank and Musso's. Tap lessons, the pony rides, going to Big Bear. I mean, going to Hawaii. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think you ever took tap lessons. I think you were too
Mm.
worrying whether you would have enough food coupons to eat when you're growing up.
My parents too busy working trying to pay the bills. You don't get these kind of things, but she had everything afforded to her, and it just seems like such a missed opportunity to not understand. you know, you were in a privileged position. How dare you complain about anything the Royals put you through? Anything. I mean, I was just talking to my husband today. It's like, shoot, Harry's an idiot. I would have loved to have been the spare with all the privileges and no responsibility. I mean, he should be skipping, happily doodah parade, just because he is the spare, because you get so much more than if you are the heir. And what does he do? They feed off each other's negativity and complain about the greatness that they have. And that's what people can't connect with, because they don't see what they have as being, opportunities for greatness, and get off your butt, go learn how to do something, and stop trying to find your way through success with a title. How about go learn a trade and learn how to do something the right way to get your accomplishments. Don't count on a title to give you these accomplishments. This is
Well,
why they
that's the
fail
only
all the
way she's
time.
gotten ahead because, and I wanted to ask you this because you
Oh,
are,
thank you, Robert.
yes, you are, yeah.
Yeah.
Robert, behave. She's married.
Thank you, Robert.
You know what I wanted to ask? Because you are, for example, guys, I kid you not, I really admire Pat. I really do. And she's gone through so much stuff. Her life is so interesting, you know. And I, it's it's such a wasted chance because the thing that she had to overcome with the royal family was following the rules, which is you're not Catherine.
Yeah.
There is an order to things, but you guess what? There's an order to think in everywhere in life, even in your own home. In your
Mm-hmm.
home, Pat, whether your kid likes it or not,
Exactly.
you are the mom. Whether they like
Mhm.
it or not, they have to listen to you. My house, my rules, right?
Right. And Megan didn't want to listen to the rules. She wanted to do things her way.
You know, it's like with your kids. If your kids and I'm not saying that Megan was a kid, but I'm just giving an example. When you work in an organization, there's always a manager, a
Yeah.
general
A
manager.
hierarchy.
Always the president is not the same as the vice president. You know, the director is not the same thing as a vice director. There's always, but she didn't want to because like she thought herself better than anybody. Don't
Mm-hmm.
you? Do you think? And this is what I wanted to ask you, Pat. Do
Mm.
you think that because of her mixed heritage, never mind, because the Queen embraced her because of that, they created the Queen's Commonwealth Trust for them. I mean, guys, the
Mm.
Queen's Commonwealth Trust was for them, for Harry and Meghan to continue. If you look at that last Christmas speech from the Queen, she talks about the Commonwealth and everybody coming together, celebrating unity. And you see all the Black nations, everything is happiness, how everybody's coming together. And when you hear them talk about it, I remember there's a couple of videos of Harry and Meghan going to talk to the Queen's Commonwealth Trust, and the people are being very positive. Yeah, without the Queen's Commonwealth Trust, we wouldn't have been able to get the scholarships or this help.
Mm-hmm.
But Megan goes, "Oh my God, but it must be really hard." And the woman is like, "Well, yeah, but with this help." But Megan is trying to turn it into something negative.
Right. Yeah.
The woman is like, "No, we're very." You can see that they're very happy that because the Queen's Commonwealth Trust was created 1 month before Harry and Meghan got married in April, just to
Wow.
Harry president and Meghan vice president, with the
See. Yeah.
purpose of harnessing all the power of the Commonwealth countries to provide opportunities to young people through education and other things, right? So all
Mm-hmm.
these scholarships were given and stuff like that. So I remember there's this particular meeting that they came and they have like a bunch of people there, these ladies, and they're so happy they got the scholarships. And it's like, and I got these opportunities. And Megan goes, "Yeah, but it must be very hard because it's not like," and the girl's like, "Yeah, but this is great for me, because without the Queen's Commonwealth Trust, I wouldn't be here sitting with you. I wouldn't be going to university and with a full ride paid. But she was trying to everything turn it into a negative.
Which video was this? I gotta look
I'll
at
send it
that.
to you. I have the link. I was watching it and then
Okay.
Harry was talking a lot on that one. She's
Oh,
wearing
okay.
an orange dress with long sleeve, and then Harry's going, "But that's great, so what else are you getting out of it?" Like Harry
Yeah.
was like, doing what he was trained to do. The idiot did actually quite well in that interview because he was saying, "Yeah, that's right," and
Yeah.
this is why the Queen's this is why organizations like these are great, and how do you feel your growth? And Megan was like, "Oh yeah, but it must," and she was just like, and you
Yeah.
see Harry, I'll send you the link and you should do a video about it
Yeah. I
because
think that would be a really good video to
because
discuss.
she sat herself in the middle and then everybody's around her. Even Harry's to the side of the couch. But the idiot did well. He was still doing well back then. I'm serious. I hate to say this, but he was because the
Yeah.
girls were saying, and they were talking about their experiences, and she goes, "Yes." And with this, also because the Queen's Commonwealth Trust was for entrepreneurial ladies, and young people. They were given like loans, startup projects, and stuff like that to help them with business, like and stuff like
Mm-hmm.
that. So there was this guy talking about it that he was so excited because he managed to get a startup now and it was doing really well, and the exposure he got because of course it's the entire Commonwealth. So he gets to forge relationships. And then it's just like
Yeah.
orange dress. Oh, yeah, but you must have had so many setbacks. And Harry's going, and Harry's looking at her. It's like, and he was being very like he was feeding the positive energy. That's what I got from it. It
And
was
that reminds me of when you saw the Netflix documentary. That's what they did. They talked very negatively about the Commonwealth and how, all the
colonization.
years prior of, coming up to our modern day times of the, what do they call it when the, during the trade, the, oh God, the time before it became the Commonwealth, there was the imperialism or something like that with how the countries were under British rule, and how she took that history and she put it in that Netflix documentary to make it very negative,
Yeah,
but never
they
talked
hire
about
these
the things
experts.
the
They
queen
hire these
did.
experts. Yes, they hire these
Yes.
experts. And it was so stupid because they're okay, I'm gonna because I know we have a lot of people watching. The Commonwealth was created because under Queen Elizabeth, a lot of nations became decolonized. So
That's what it
what
was.
she did is
Yes. Mm-hmm.
she all a lot of nations became independent under Queen Elizabeth's reign, and it was even joked that she was left with nothing. That the UK Empire used to rule the world, and now it's nothing.
Yeah.
And then, so what she did, and she was very passionate about it, was to create the Commonwealth of nations wanting to willingly unite. And it had to be nations who met human rights standards and stuff like that,
Yeah.
to improve trade, to help nations that were less fortunate but it's because if you're joining forces, let's say if you're part of the Commonwealth, let's say with the United States, and you are able to trade, commerce, and get your goods in, and
Mm-hmm.
scholarships, and there were all kinds of other things, grants to students, if you're part of that Commonwealth group, that is a huge benefit for a struggling nation as long as you add human rights. And it was independent. People were fighting to join the Commonwealth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
So it's free nations who joined. It's not like the colonizations that are forced to join, and it's not like it's nothing like that. Okay, guys. So because that was bad, you were right, Pidina. They badly portrayed that. If you heard
Mm-hmm.
that how they talk about it, you would think that they were still slaves there, and
Mm-hmm. It was terrible. How and just the fact that they did that. It's just like, how dare you do that to the royal family after everything they did for you? Why would you do that? Empire 2.0. Okay, that's what it's called. Okay.
that's how they
So,
call it. Empire 2.0 is the Commonwealth. By the way, Harry and Meghan were still president and vice president of the Queen's Commonwealth Trust, and they were still holding for their own PR things. Remember when they were doing those communications, those video conference calls to the Queen's
yep,
Commonwealth
that's
Trust?
right. Yep.
Well, the
Mm-hmm.
Netflix thing was going on, so they were still profiting from the PR of that.
Yes, that's right. See, I mean, it's just so wrong, and this is why they will never find success. They won't, because of how they've gotten started on such a negative foundation. I mean, she came in, she didn't want to rise above and do any good with what was handed to her, literally handed to her from marrying this prince. You wanted to shake things up and do it your way and not abide by the rules. And for that, my dear, you'll never find true success. And this is
Or
why
peace.
everything that they do is bombing, it's flopping in America because of what they've done and what
Pat,
I
do
think
you
she'll
think that
continue
she
to
has
do.
ruined it? This is the question I wanted to ask. Do you think that she has ruined it for another American? Because we already had two bad experiences with Americans, but
I know, right? I
Megan is
think,
immigrants and
yeah.
stuff like that. Do you think that because now with the internet and everything, do you think she has ruined, like, it's gonna be much harder for anybody because she has created this negative stereotype? She
I
has
think,
reinforced it.
yeah. She's
What do you think?
reinforced something very negative that is going to be hard to overcome. Another American woman of color coming into the British monarchy. Now, maybe to some other places, yeah, but I don't think in the British monarchy, no time soon.
You think so? What do you think that do you think she's respected? Do you think that the race card, if she chooses to use it, do you think that it has the same impact as at the beginning when they left? Or do you think that people see her for who she is
I
now?
think they're starting to see her for who she is now. I think a lot of people, so many people do not ever want Harry, especially, to come back. I think she's ruined it. Really, I do. It's going to take a lot to, I mean, considering we've already had a bad American come into the royal family and do not so great things, you know. And I think Meghan, on top of that, it's made it even harder. So no, it's never going to be able to be overcome. And thanks to the lady for the compliment to uh before, and this lady Maria.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I wanted to ask you this. What do you think? We're gonna leave soon, guys, because it's Friday. But I just want to say because Pidina always brings, with her I can talk about this and not sound across like racist. Uh,
Mhm.
but what do you think? To me, you and I have always talked what a missed opportunity this was for her to bring actually um, because that's what the Queen wanted when they created the Queen's Commonwealth Trust and when Harry was married to Meghan. That's what they gave her a chance for heritage. They wanted to show how all races can come together, the positivity of all of it. And
Mhm.
instead, it went to shit.
Yeah.
What do you think she could have done to not do that? Or, I mean, where were the missed
I
opportunities?
think she could have really been over. They could have moved to Africa. They could have been over the Commonwealth and gone around to the different countries on behalf of the Queen and done a lot of things to support the monarchy and to bring goodwill and to uplift the Queen's legacy. There
Yeah.
could have been so much she could have done to contribute it to the Queen's legacy in the last years of her life. We'd be talking about that in history books about, how the Queen gave this woman who came from this, background as an actress and mixed race, and how the Queen gave her the opportunity to be a part of the Commonwealth and to represent the different nations and cultures that she started to bring together when she first started the Commonwealth with the programs that you were talking about. And she could have been a part of all of that, and she blew it. She could have uplifted the Queen's legacy in a great way and contributed to so many good programs to help people, like to really have impact and help people. But now it's like she threw it all away and no one's getting anything of value out of any potential greatness that she could have done because of her ego and her selfishness and her wanting to be, in Hollywood, a place that's really going to crap now, where a lot of people are
Yeah.
really anti-celebrity now. It's
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like you really backtrack to the sewer, to the swamp of no good for nothing
Because this is another
opportunity.
thing that many of you might not know. P. Dinah was actually in Hollywood trying to make it as an actress, and she was made some dirty offers that she never took because she has integrity. You
Yeah,
could have you could have probably been famous
easily,
if you
easily. I mean,
if
you
you
should have
have
seen me in my 20s, okay? I mean, there was so much opportunity to do such things. And I mean, I know what a cesspool it is. I mean, I've experienced some really vile things when I lived there as an actor. And I mean, I think Megan took up a lot of opportunity there. I think there's a lot we don't know that she's done, allegedly. But, you don't get to meet a prince and marry him just by lollyfooting around,
being a Soho
paying
House.
attention to, things that I don't know, like, and she intentionally found this person, is what I'm trying to say. She intentionally found the man that she married and did what she did.
I mean,
You
to
don't
get to where
find
she
that
yeah, to get to
by
where
not
she was, she had
looking.
to do really when you don't have any talent, you have to do some really disgusting things. And
Yeah.
I mean, they were all those very disgusting things were offered to you and you turned it down and said, that's not for me. I'm out
Yeah,
of here.
some people, a lot of offers to do some things, and you have to have integrity. You have to know what you will do and what you won't do, and eventually you can make it and if you keep honing your craft and trying to make it the right way. But time was not on her side, Megan's side. I mean, it was on my side because I left when I was still pretty young. But I think Megan just came up against the wall because she just had to find a way to get to where she wanted to go in a lot quicker way. And I think this is why she
Always shortcuts,
compromised.
always shortcuts, never
Yeah, they were
coming
all
in direct.
shortcuts for her. And I don't see how a woman at her age can back to back have two children in such a short amount of time, back to back, when you're already older in age. I mean, it's not unfounded that you can't do it, but it's a
It's
lot
hard.
more difficult when they're back to back like that, 2 years apart, and you're older. It just seemed,
And
I
she had
don't
a
know.
miscarriage in
And
between,
she had a miscarriage in between,
according to
right?
her. I mean, and
Mm-mm.
it's not even the actress part, Pat, because we've had a Hollywood A-lister
All
marry into
right.
the royal family, Grace Kelly,
Grace
who
Kelly,
was
right?
absolutely graceful and made the US proud. I mean, she's one of the most beautiful she was not queen, but because she was a princess because of Monaco.
Right.
But Prince Albert, she was absolutely gorgeous. Like she she did adhere to her role. She made everybody proud. She knew how to, dress,
Yeah.
how to follow protocol. She even helped Princess Diana when she was nervous and was giving her hints about this and that,
Yeah.
you know. But,
Yeah.
but so you've had actresses, so it's not even the actress part, you
That's
know.
true. That's true.
Because you've
But
had that. I mean, it's unfortunate that the bad ones end up in the British royal family.
right. And the fact that the world, she just had to have a black mama, didn't she? She just had to have a black mama and had to come in and just be so terrible with how she behaved, knowing I just feel like, you got to represent in a way that is good for people.
You
And
haven't heard anything about Doria. Doria has been even Megan hasn't mentioned Doria. I
yeah, it's
noticed
very
that.
suspect, isn't it? Like, what you up to, Doria? She doing something.
Yeah, maybe with
Doria up to
those
something.
elderly people that she's taking care of. But
Yeah.
anyways, I want to wish you guys Merry Christmas, Pat. Merry Christmas, and please go subscribe. Watch, of course, you watch all her videos, especially the last one is the kid drama, right, Pat? This one right
Yeah.
here, kid drama. Let me
Yeah,
see.
Hello,
the kids
everyone. Welcome,
drama.
welcome,
Yeah.
Oh, you have
welcome. Thanks
Otis
so
there.
much for being here today. I do hope
Yeah.
you're doing
Oh
well.
my God.
Well,
You
today
know I
I'm not
can't get
going to
Otis to do that.
be the color of the
You
hair
can't give
of the
him what?
children. I don't know.
Look at that.
There's some pictures where the hair looks not red.
You can't
There
get
you go. How do you get Otis to stand so still, Pat?
he just hangs out with me. Pugs are like lap dogs, they just sit and hang out with you.
You've seen City, right? There is no way that she would sit like that there. How do you
Really?
do well,
He just does. He just
you've
does.
seen her in action. I
Oh,
mean, she does
yes.
it
She's
in the bed.
feisty.
Yeah, she's feisty. But if you put her on the couch, if I try to do this is why I do it in the bedroom. If I go sit on the couch or anywhere else, she'll come and like she's all over me and she needs the attention and she needs it out. And no, I'm not gonna discipline her. Pat knows that. She's seen me, but knows that I'm
Yeah.
terrifying her. So, but I look how nice Otis is. She's just chilled, and I mean, he lets you do your thing,
Yeah.
and like, and he's fine, and
He's
it's just
very patient. Otis is very patient.
yeah. Shame on you, City. No, please
You're
go
so funny
subscribe
with
to China.
her.
Well, you've seen her.
I've seen her in action. That's what's so funny because she can be
Okay.
feisty.
We can trade her. I mean, you can send me Otis, and because I need peace in my life at the moment, and I'm not having any. And
Right.
I'll send you City, and like and
Yeah.
you'll see what I mean. Try to put her on that couch and see how
Oh,
far you get with that video of yours.
right.
Thank you
Not
very
very
much for
far.
joining me, Pidina, and thank you. Please
Hmm.
go watch her videos. Also, go watch her on Dan Wooden. She's done some interviews there. Is there anywhere else you've done interviews, Pat? So we can also
I did one on a pod. There was a podcast that I did. Oh, I don't have it in front of me right now, but I
send me the
did.
link and I'll put it below. When
Yeah, I'll
after
put it.
we,
Yeah, I'll look it up and put it in the link. It's been it was a really nice podcast that I did. She asked some
who did
great
you do it with?
questions.
Who did you do it with?
Oh my goodness, I can't remember right now. Oh God,
But,
don't put me on the spot. I see so many people and I meet with so many people because of my charity.
yeah, right.
Um,
That's okay,
Wait a
listen.
minute. Well, wait a minute. Let me just look it up. Let me just
Yeah, and
look.
then you can share it, and I will share it here. If you share
Yes.
it, if you do
Okay.
share, I'll share
Into
it here.
the. I want to say.
You want
Say.
to stay?
Hold on. Hold on.
How was your Christmas? Did you eat a lot of turkey?
Actually, I did. I went to see my in-laws in Cincinnati,
Ooh.
and they are so sweet because they have she was actually the one whose wedding I went to. Remember, I showed some
Oh,
pictures
okay.
from a wedding, and it was their daughter that got married.
Uh-huh.
And they are just so sweet. They love my mother-in-law. She is a hoot. She follows me on my Facebook because she can only do like social media with her Facebook,
Uh-huh.
and she makes comments, and she's always asking me questions about um, my social media. That I'm like, I can see how it can be very challenging for some people. For her, it's very challenging, and but I had a good time with my in-laws when I was there. Did you? But what did you do? Because you're like,
I'm alone.
there's
I
a
did
lot
nothing.
going on right now.
Yeah. I well, no, on the 23rd, I held the lunch for the girls at the shelter. A lot of my subscribers helped me out with that financially. Without them, I wouldn't have been able to do it, and I even got them a gift each. That's on the 23rd. Here we celebrate the 24th, right? So the
Oh.
24th, yeah, the 24th, I order a meal to come to the house
Mm-hmm.
because the thing is, there's a lot of firework, and they do throw it out in the streets and city. eh, She really shakes. I mean, the fireworks here are insane. No, they're like
Mm.
bomb. They're not like fire. They're like firecrackers. So in city was like I didn't want to be out in the street driving. Besides, I had my bara. I still had the stitches. I got the stitches taken out yesterday. It hurt like hell. And I asked the
Mm-hmm.
doctor, "Is it gonna hurt?" And he goes, "No, no, 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 no. You're not gonna feel it. You're not gonna feel it." I'm like, "Chicken shit, please. If you need to put anything on it, put it on because I don't want to feel it." Because like I showed it to you, Pat, and it's like here's the part that hurt the most. And I have to go tomorrow. This is something for you guys. You should go check it out too, Pat, because
Mm-hmm.
the reason why I have to have them, I had to have one taken out here and one taken out here, but this isn't so bad. I have these things that are called cholesterol deposits. I don't know if you can see. I have one huge one here. I have one here. I have one here, one here. I have another one here. These can be zapped with, they need to put a little bit of anesthesia in it, and they use a little thing that dissolves that. But apparently, there's an
Mm-hmm.
underlying condition that's causing them. Some women, there's some ladies who get them around here, which is very painful. So it could be
Mm-hmm.
because of cholesterol or diabetes. I know I don't have diabetes, so I have to
Mm-hmm.
do a blood test tomorrow.
Oh,
And
hold on. My daughter has just got home. She's really loud right now. I'm so sorry.
that's okay.
I think I want to call it Into the Woods. I think it's the name of the podcast.
Into
I'm
the
trying to.
woods. Is that
Let's
Into the
see.
Woods? I think I've heard about that. Yes,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
She
yeah.
does it on an army base.
It's not as
Um,
fat as actually they're fat deposits that they're created and they show up. They call it cholesterol thing. There's a scientific name. It starts with an X, Xena something, right? And I thought, I have a huge one that you can't see it here, but I have another one here. The one that I had was huger, and I thought it was because I had my eyes operated. Because I couldn't see well, so I had like a permanent operation to help me see better, right?
mhm.
So and I thought that I had something in my eyes and it was just bothering me. So I had those huge fat deposits. So I said to the doctor, can't you just zap them like you're gonna zap these? But because it's kind of like a laser, they can't do it because it's too close to the eye. Like they were like right here. This one was really painful because it was right here. It was that one hurt. Even with anesthesia, I actually felt that. This one wasn't so bad. It was here, higher
Mhm.
up. This one that was here, that he had to be very careful because it was too close to the eye. But some people, Pat, they have them around here, they have them around here. But this is once they come out, you
Mhm.
can't feel for it. You have to remove them. But we have to find the underlying condition to stop them from growing because
Yeah, because then it's like out of control.
Yeah, so it's Into the Woods that you went into?
It's Into the Woods. Yes, it's the podcast.
Okay, so I'm gonna send me the link and I'll look into it and I'm gonna post it. But she's also done a lot of interviews in Dan Wooden. I did one in Dan Wooden, so that
Yes, you did too.
It was very lovely.
And it was really good. It was really good. Yeah.
Thank you. It was so lovely. But I'll send you the link of the Queens Commonwealth Trust. And please go watch Pat's videos, guys, and subscribe to her. And we'll see you guys in the new year with more stuff.
New year for sure.
Thank you very much for joining me, sweetie.
All right. Thank you. Talk to you later. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.